Mazuma boxing. All right, man. There's a couple. Today's gonna be. This weekend's gonna be a pretty good fight week as we have this first fight being the last fight of the year for HBO, being Bryant Jennings from Philadelphia versus Lewis, the real King Kong Ortiz. Okay, man. As of recently, I saw Lewis Ortiz last fight. You know, I'm not sure. I highly doubt that was a credible opponent he had faced. But then again, he is an up-and-coming fighter, and he's jumping up to the big guys right now. He has a record of 23-0 and 20 knockouts. Well, obviously, he's a power puncher. You know, I wasn't able to see his mechanics and how technical he can be because of how fast he had wiped through this guy. But you know, he's a pretty solid puncher, and of course he has a puncher's chance against Bryant Jennings. You know, Bryant Jennings 19-1, had previously fought Vladimir Klitschko, but Vladimir Klitschko has perfected his craft against smaller fighters, meaning he is able to use his range, get his little 1-2s in, and be able to hold if the smaller guy gets within a close distance. And that's what he did throughout the whole fight. However, Bryant Jennings did show that he was able to compete with the dominant heavyweight champ and former dominant heavyweight champ Vladimir Klitschko. And just based off their last fights, you could say that the favorite has to be Bryant Jennings. Although a lot of people are picking Lewis Ortiz to win. I've seen people on forums and seen people on Instagram comments, and then I've seen people on YouTube comments saying that Lewis Ortiz has a strong chance. But I think Bryant Jennings is being heavily slept on. I think this guy isn't somebody that you would want to sleep on either. He's a very skilled fighter. And I just love the way he fights, man. I love it. And I don't think he gets his just due. I mean, but I don't blame him because he only has 20 fights in the pros. So we just gonna have to see what he do tonight. But my prediction, I got Bryant Jennings beating Lewis Ortiz in a unanimous decision. However, I would not be surprised if Lewis Ortiz is able to get up in there and give Jennings some problems with his power. And they both have the same reach, so I don't think length would be a problem. But let's just see what happens, man. You know, Ortiz might have a good jab, might have a good straight right hand that's able to give Jennings some problems. But as of right now, I got Bryant Jennings winning, and it's not because I'm from Philly. I just seen more from Bryant Jennings, and I know that he's the more experienced fighter. With having less fights, he is the more experienced fighter, being that he fought Klitschko. I mean, that alone is just makes you the more experienced fighter. I can't recall a top fighter that Lewis Ortiz has beaten, but just the fact that Bryant Jennings beat Klitschko alone just makes him the more experienced fighter, due to King Kong not having any credible opponents as far as I can think. If he does, drop it in the comment section below. There's always time to learn things. But yeah, I got Bryant Jennings winning by unanimous decision. Can't wait to see this fight, and I will be doing I will be giving my thoughts after the fight. This is Mazuma Boxing, and we out of here.